Hey friends, it's Mary Giordano and welcome to Unapologetically Wild. Every single day, you have a choice. You can stay where you are, or you can step into the possibility of something even greater. And I'm here to spark that flame within you and inspire you to show up, embrace the fear, and do the fucking thing. Messy, scared, and real. Let's get started. Hey friends, welcome back to Unapologetically Wild. So when I decided to rebrand from the Joy Formula to Unapologetically Wild and launch this podcast, I knew I wasn't just launching a show. I was stepping into a bolder version of myself, one that would most likely ask for more honesty, more edge, and way more vulnerability. And I'm going to be real with you. Like most people, vulnerability doesn't come easy for me. But what I do know is that being vulnerable isn't just brave, it's connective. So this episode, it's personal because sometimes the messiest chapters are the ones that connect us the most. So if you're someone who's dropped all the things that keep you grounded right when you needed them most, this episode is for you because that was me. I know I talk a lot about mindset, about routines, about the things that keep us rooted, but that doesn't mean that I'm immune to slipping. I'm not some perfectly regulated person. I'm human. And when life hits hard, like it did with my 14-year-old dog Phoebe, even the things I know work started falling away. Not because I don't believe in them, but because I was in survival mode. And I didn't even realize how much I'd abandoned myself until my pants didn't fit, I couldn't focus for more than 30 seconds, and everything I used to love started feeling like a chore. Then, I finally slowed down long enough to actually feel it. But last week, I spent 5 days in a luxury treehouse in the Colorado mountains for Phoebe's 14th birthday, and it wasn't a trip to create content like many of my trips are. It wasn't a trip to be productive. It was just time. Time to breathe, time to be, time to disconnect from my environment and remember what it actually feels like to feel grounded again. And I'm going to be honest, my nervous system needed it more than I realized. I've been in a low-grade freeze state for months. I stopped working out consistently. I stopped meditating regularly. I stopped doing all the things that bring me back to myself. Not out of laziness, but because I've been in survival mode with everything going on with Phoebe. And yeah, I know some people hear dog and think, okay, but it's just a dog, it's just a pet. But if you've ever had a soul pet, you get it. She's been there through every chapter, every move, every career shift, every hard season over the last 14 years. She's woven into everything that makes me me in this part of my life. And if you listened to episode 13 where I shared our full journey with her laryngeal paralysis diagnosis and surgery and all the things, you already know. And if you didn't, and you're a dog person, go listen to that one when you're done here. Because for almost 3 months, I was on edge every single minute, watching her breathe, sleeping in short increments, waiting for her to collapse again, wondering if today would be the day I'd lose her. It was exhausting, physically, emotionally, spiritually, just draining. But I'd do it again without even questioning it. And no, I didn't feel like I was fixed in that treehouse, but I finally felt like I could exhale. I could rest without panic, move without rushing, create without pressure, and just be without feeling like I had to get back to anything. And here's the thing I've learned. When you're living in a constant state of stress, even if it's quiet, even if it looks fine on the outside, the first things to go are the ones that keep you grounded. The workouts, the slow mornings, the journaling, the routines that bring you back to yourself. And that's the exact moment when you need them most. But what happens is your nervous system is just trying to survive, not thrive. So it strips away everything that's non-essential. And guess what gets tossed first? The things that actually hold you together. And that was me. And if that's you too, I want you to know you're not lazy, you're not undisciplined, you're just burnt out. And you've been holding so much that your body stopped trusting you with more. And that's not weakness, that's biology. But at some point, survival has to shift into reconnection. And that's what last week was for me. Not some magical reset, but a shift back to being present. And in that return, I realized a few things, like how easy it is to lose touch with yourself, not in one big moment, but so slowly over time, you don't even realize it's happening. How we keep showing up for everything and everyone until we don't even realize we stop showing up for ourselves. But in that treehouse with nothing but sky, silence, and space, I remembered something I'd forgotten. Ease can be productive. Stillness isn't laziness. And doing nothing might actually be the thing that brings you back to everything. And here's the wild part. We don't always realize how not okay we've been until we finally start to feel better. When things shift gradually, we adjust. The stress creeps in, the habits slip, the jeans stop fitting, and instead of stopping to ask what's going on, we just adapt. We start buying looser clothes, we stop looking in the mirror, we tell ourselves it's just a season. And listen, I'm not someone who fixates on weight, but when your body's off, your energy's drained, and you've stopped doing the things that make you feel strong, that's not just physical, that's emotional. For me, the pants not fitting was a huge wake-up call because my norm is feeling strong and fit. And I'd let that version of me slip away trying to hold everything else together. So while I was away, I journaled, I moved my body when I felt like it, I cooked intentionally, I watched some hockey, I sat in silence with a cup of coffee and let myself just be. And for the first time in a very long time, I was able to relax. Not because everything was perfect, but because I finally gave myself permission to stop carrying it all. And I'm not going to sit here and lie. The setting definitely helped. The place was just beautiful. It felt like something out of a dream. This luxury treehouse was perched high in the trees, looking out over Deer Creek Valley. It was the kind of space that invites you to just be. It had massive windows in every single room that looked out for miles, 1,000 square feet of deck space to soak up the sun, to work, to sit by a fire, or just take in the dark, starry night. And the views, they didn't just ask for your attention, they demanded it. It was incredible. In the mornings, I sit with a coffee, watch the sunrise, no agenda, no noise, just stillness. There was a hot tub and sauna and even a glamping tent off the main house with a king-size bed and its own fire pit. Inside, everything was intentional. The kitchen was a dream to cook in. It was open, spacious, and stocked with everything you could possibly need. The bedrooms had blackout shades and fireplaces. Even the Sonos speakers in every single room felt like they were whispering, "Slow down, you're allowed to enjoy this." And in a world that never seems to stop, this place gave me permission to pause. And somewhere between the mountain air and the trees, something shifted. Not in a big dramatic way, but in a kind of quiet way that matters most. Like my nervous system finally got the memo that it was safe to stop bracing. And no, I didn't leave that treehouse with a 20-step plan or a shiny new morning routine. I left with something better. I left with clarity and a promise to myself to stop abandoning the things that make me feel whole. The things that make me feel good on both the inside and the outside. And that doesn't mean I came home and turned into a wellness robot, working out daily, journaling at sunrise, green juice in hand, all the things, even though that has been me for the last several years. But I came home with more presence, more intention, more capacity to choose differently, because I finally remembered what it feels like to breathe again. And as much as I needed nervous system rest, I also needed space, not just metaphorical space, but literal distance from the environment I'd been stuck in for months. What most people don't see is how much I've been orbiting around Phoebe. Again, not out of resentment. I'd do it all again a million times over. But when your dog's health is fragile, every plan becomes a calculation. Can I bring her? Can I leave her in the car? What if she collapses while I'm inside? I had to stop going to my Muay Thai classes that I was absolutely loving because it just got too cold outside for her to wait in the car. I rushed through grocery store runs. I turned down invites, not because I didn't want to go, but because I couldn't fully be present knowing she was alone. And over time, it wasn't just my calendar that shrank, it was me. So getting away wasn't just about rest. It was about remembering who I am outside of the stress, outside of the caretaking, outside of my house, the schedule, the constant watching, and being in that treehouse with no collapsing episodes to worry about because Phoebe had her surgery, no bags under my eyes from sleepless nights. It felt like the first real shift I've had in months. I didn't need a life-changing breakthrough. I just needed to feel like me again. And being in that space away from the noise, the stress, and the constant monitoring gave me just enough distance to remember what that feels like. But let me be clear. You don't need a luxury treehouse or a mountain getaway to feel like yourself again. You just need space, the kind you choose, not the kind you wait to be given. And that might mean stepping outside with your coffee instead of rushing to your inbox. It might mean putting your phone down and actually tasting your food. It might mean checking in with yourself and asking, what do I need today to feel more like me? So if you're someone who's let the routine slip, if you're feeling off but can't quite name why, if you've been surviving on autopilot, you don't need to fix it all at once. You just need to start. Start small, start imperfect, start messy, start today. And if you're in a season of rebuilding, know that you're not alone. We don't need to bounce back. We get to return differently. Thanks for tuning in today. If this episode hit home, subscribe and share it with a friend because together we can bring more women into this wild, unapologetic space. Remember, waiting until you feel ready is the fastest way to nowhere. So show up, embrace the fear, and do the fucking thing. And don't forget to subscribe to my Unapologetically Wild Chronicles. The link's in the show notes. Until next time, stay wild.